Good evening, it's the Oscar expert here with Brother Bro, and it's time for Oscar.
How you feeling, buddy? How you feeling about going in tonight?
The only real risk we seem to have taken in our predictions is Mikey Madison, so...
Yeah.
Best Actress is the one everyone's looking out for, everybody. Yeah. I want to hear that you think it's locked up or easy.
But I'm like, is Anora really winning 4 Oscars? That's what gets me. Other categories looking out for. I feel like I didn't get animated feature right. I feel like it's Flow, but I went with my head and said Wild Robot. No other land in documentary, who knows? Short films, good God, are crazy this year, but I feel as confident as I could be. You know, and maybe there's like an upset in like editing or sound, right? I mean, that's kind of all I'm thinking.
First category, supporting actor Kieran Culkin won all the major precursors and he will be accepting the award. It's Kieran Culkin.
Okay. You know, will Real Pain win screenplay is my question, but...
Silly. I like this win a lot. He's been frontrunner for so long that people have started turning on it, but no. I refuse.
I love this win. I love this character. Jesse Eisenberg has proven himself as someone who can write an Oscar-winning role. I mean, that is amazing for his career. I'm so excited for what Jesse Eisenberg is going to write and direct next. And it's going to be a musical with Paul Giamatti, so...
Animated feature. This is one of the tightest races.
Yeah, I think we've got our first toss-up category. Let's see if I'm kicking my legs.
Is it Wild Robot or Flow?
Yeah, I think this is a goose's hair. This is a goose's feather, this category.
Perhaps a smaller bird's feather, even.
Flow! Oh, man!
Oh, my God.
Oh, God! Okay, all right. Listen
up.
Listen up and listen good.
It felt like it was gonna, but I was like, no, according to the things, it won't.
Yep. Listen, I went with my head on this one and not my heart because I swear to God, I was like thinking, you know, Flow's gonna win, and then I'm gonna pull up the fact that it won the Indie Spirit International film.
No, fuck you, I don't care.
Over All We Imagine Is Life. No. How is that not irrelevant? How is that not like a huge win?
The Wild Robot, like what was wrong with the Wild Robot?
So Wild Robot got 3 nominations, including sound. Flow had an international feature nomination. They're both pretty big, like had nominations outside of their category. But I think what this signals is a shift in how people are voting for this category, because for a long time it was like the Disney films were just so hard to take down. But now that Disney doesn't seem to have like a monopoly on the wins, I think it's getting a lot more interesting. Like last year with Boy and the Heron, people said after Boy and the Heron, like, it didn't necessarily mean that the Academy is different because that was Miyazaki. They just wanted to give him like the career thing. And they didn't read it as a shift in taste, you know, for like an appetite for a more independent film. I mean, and here we see 2 years in a row, an indie film beats a studio film in the animated category.
And the Wild Robot was like the most acclaimed mainstream like American animated film in years. So what the fuck? Well, here's really what happened. Flow was number 2 for the BAFTA.
Yeah.
And we didn't know that. I get that Flow is this passion pick that people really wanted to go for, but why wasn't the Wild Robot the passion pick? Like what?
Because I think people are like, you know what? We've seen that before. Flow is something we haven't seen before.
Is it?
Cinematography in Flow is much more different. It feels more sophisticated than the Wild Robot. No, I think it's an underdog thing as well. It's the underdog that could.
Okay, animated short. We predicted Yuck, but as with all the short film categories, this is not easy.
I think this is between Yuck and Wander to Wonder, but yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about Yuck. I think that's like the crowd-pleasing film. Wander to Wonder is a little more creative.
In the shadow of the cypress.
Oh my God!
In
the shadow of the cypress?
What?
Wow. That was like number 4 on Gold Derby.
That's the lowest ranking film on Gold Derby to ever win this award.
There's never been beyond number 3 to win. It's never happened before. That's fucking shocking. I didn't think that one had a chance, my God.
Wow.
But honestly, like, one of the best ones. Haha. Wow.
That's wild, because it's not anything that people usually use to judge this award. It didn't have children, it wasn't for kids, it was heavy on like the symbolism. I mean, this is crazy.
All right, costume design, this is gonna be Wicked.
Wicked. And Wicked is on its way to win production design most likely, and then that's probably the end of its run.
All right, original screenplay. I mean, I feel like it's gonna be Anora.
I'm nervous though. I'm really nervous.
That's fair.
You know, there's A Real Pain, which won the BAFTA. The Substance, more of a long shot, but that won the Critics' Choice. This is one of 2 awards that Anora could lose, and I do think, you know, maybe it just doesn't take all 4 awards. So let's see what's going on here.
Anora.
Okay.
Anora. All right. The Best Picture winner, winning screenplay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. And how many Oscars will Sean Baker win?
Yeah.
3?
Listen,
4?
If Anora was losing, like if this was some kind of like Anora shit show, then you wouldn't have won this award.
Anora's probably gonna have a big night here. I don't really see like another clear path for another way it can go. An adapted screenplay, you know, as fun as surprises are, we're not going to be surprised here. This is going to be Conclave.
Conclave.
Conclave. Anora's
Conclave.
Challenger.
Conclave.
The top two films just won Oscars for screenplay.
That's how it often goes, isn't it?
We'll see if Conclave can win editing, and I think that's all it can win. Honestly, the screenplay winners are goated this year. They're fantastic.
They are very good winners.
And I think this is the first screenplay win from a non-writer director in like a decade.
Since Call Me By Your Name. All right, makeup and hairstyling. We know what time it is. It's the substance time.
When's a long time coming after I saw this at Cannes. I was like, that better get fucking nominated and it should win. And the journey of the substance has is insane. And this award is like absolutely 100%. Couldn't be more locked up. There
Yes.
we go.
Substance, thank goodness.
A fantastic year
Thank goodness.
for tech nominations for horror films.
Oh,
This and
yes.
Nosferatu, right?
The Substance didn't get that many tech nominations.
Yeah, that's true.
but legendary makeup win. Will Demi Moore top this off with an actress makeup pairing? Or is this the Substance's only win tonight? Editing. This category has been a shit show precursor-wise, but, you know, most people have set it on Conclave as making the most sense, so we'll see what happens.
I still feel like this is going to be Conclave because I don't really know what else is going to upset. Like, I don't know.
Anora.
Oh my goodness, God! Ah! Oh my goodness, God! Holy moly!
It's gonna win 5!
Holy moly!
Sean Baker's winning 4 Oscars, what the fuck?
I died!
I fucking love it!
I thought, what?
Oh my god! It goes against everything I said! So many Oscars for Sean Baker.
The passion. The passion.
Conclave's fucking over. Conclave's so over.
Oh, there's only one movie that can win Best Picture right now.
Oh my god. Now I feel even better about Mikey Madison.
Oh, Mikey Madison's gonna win now. Mikey Madison's gonna win now.
Well, you don't
Like,
know that means that, buddy, but
What do you mean? That's a down the ballot vote. That's what that is. It's a down the ballot vote.
That's true.
And yes, however, I will acknowledge this category, could have gone many ways, so there could have been a lot of vote splitting, right?
Anora definitely has some great editing, for sure, but I did not feel like that's like the standout element of the movie that you'd like single out. And I also wasn't convinced that people would vote for it
Because it's best.
because
winning Best Picture.
it's their favorite, and that doesn't
Yep.
often happen.
But
But I guess in a year where there was no other obvious
listen,
movie.
I fully agree with what you just said, and the reason it went like this is because. Again, there was no obvious movie. There was no racing movie. There was no war film. The BAFTA's going with Conclave in editing. There was always a possibility that just spoke to their love for Conclave and
Right,
not
'cause they gave it
necessarily
Best Picture.
maybe they didn't treat it like a craft category exactly. But here we see how the Oscars liked Anora better.
And for Sean Baker alone, that man's taking 4 Oscars. That is,
Yeah, and that's definitely happening.
When
There's
is
no
the
way
last,
Anora loses director. and
When's the
picture at
last
this
time
point.
somebody won 4 Oscars in the same night? Has it happened? Congrats, Anora, on Best Picture. Wow.
Wow.
No.
I mean, think about this. That was the category where you could easily pass over it and say, okay, well, maybe one of my problems with Anora was like the pacing or something. I mean, it didn't make a ton of sense. This is just strength for Anora. There's no other way to put that.
And lack of a clear alternative, I guess.
And lack of a clear alternative.
Even though I think Conclave would have been a good winner. I am kind of delighted about like the Anora sweep. I think that's fun.
Yeah.
All right, supporting actress. So look, Zoe Saldana won every major precursor.
there ain't no other way this is
You
going.
gotta expect that it's gonna be her.
Yeah, there's no other way.
Zoe Saldana.
There we go.
It's Zoe.
There we go.
It's Zoe Saldana. Look, if you win all 4 major precursors, you get the Oscar. That is
yeah.
how it works. That is how it works. And look, she was good in the movie.
Oh, she was very good in the movie. I wanted more from the character, but
It wouldn't be like my pick, but and production design, we have another Wicked win coming up.
Yep. Wicked.
It's Wicked.
There we go.
Costumes, production design, pairing.
I'm surprised to see like some people have casted doubt on this category. Like ever since Wicked was getting a Best Picture nomination, it was obvious that this was going to win production design.
Even before
costumes.
we thought it was going to win.
Yeah, it wasn't really close, was it?
No. Original song. I think this is probably El Mal, but I don't think it's a secure frontrunner. I just don't know what else.
Did somehow people galvanize behind Diane Warren this time around? Probably not.
Well,
Obvious
there's
category.
2 wins for Amelia Perez.
Yep.
The question is, will it win international feature? All right, Doc, short. So given what happened in the animated short category, I'm like, what could be
Yeah.
anything at this point?
Right.
We ended up going with Only Girl in the Orchestra, and that did rise to #1 on Gold Derby as well.
Yeah, that was another one where I went with my head and not my heart.
The only girl in the orchestra.
Oh, huh. Okay, so there we go. There's the
Wow.
saved my ass by predicting that with that Critics' Choice stat.
Reiterate. Cook.
So far, in the 6 years that the Critics' Choice have been doing a short documentary category, if the Oscar winner is there, it'll have won the Critics' Choice Award. Either the Critics' Choice winner is the Oscar winner, or the Oscars gave it to a film that wasn't nominated at Critics' Choice.
Right. Yeah, and you single-handedly convinced me by showing me that, because
That single-handedly convinced me. And then it went to go number 1 on Gold Derby, and I said, normally Gold Derby is good at this.
Yeah. Having watched all these films, like, it didn't really help me decide. I mean, I got more invested, but I didn't feel like this was a winner. I felt like this was just a okay, good movie. It didn't make me feel passionate. It didn't make me cry. And like, who would it make passionate? Who would it cry? That's why I thought if the Critics' Choice gave this an award, that means some people are voting for it passionately, and I'm just wrong.
And in documentary feature, I mean, the question is No Other Land winning?
I still think it's going to win because, again, I don't see an alternative here. I mean, we have Porcelain War, which is said to be number 2 because it's about Ukraine, but people don't really seem to love or feel passionately about that film. And, you know, if you're going to vote for this category and you've seen No Other Land,
You're probably voting
for No Other Land, right? Please.
No Other Land did win!
Please! Yes.
It did win! Wow!
Fantastic.
Wow!
This is deserved. Look, I'll call it as I see it. If this lost, it would have been an anti-Palestine vote. Because the film is simply excellent. The issue is simply too pressing to ignore.
And it's the most well-liked in the category
it's the most
by
acclaimed,
far.
most well-liked,
That's why I
most
think,
accoladed,
that's why my argument was that even if 50% of people have seen the film, it still gets enough votes to win, it seems like.
Hollywood can award a film like this, it seems.
Yeah. Best sound. Although I predicted Dune, I feel like there's a 50-50 with that and a Complete Unknown.
It's not 50-50. Huh. Now, a Complete Unknown could absolutely win. I am holding my breath here, but Dune had the best case. Like, it won the most awards. It won the BAFTA. Like, it does have the best argument to win. It's a sequel,
and they have trouble with that.
Yeah, I mean, but it has the best argument to win. But we'll see, because I really do feel like a Complete Unknown is the spoiler.
Oh, it is Dune. Okay.
Dune.
All right. There are a couple of categories like flow and animated where I'm like, oh, I should have like taken a risk. But then there's so many categories where I was iffy and I was like, you know what? It was good that I didn't take the risk.
I'll tell you what. Flow is like the only category where I was like, stupid, because even though I didn't get editing right, I still think I was like well-founded in making that prediction, and it was really hard. It was hard to call. If you got Anora in editing, congratulations. I couldn't reason myself into it. That's why if Mikey Madison doesn't win, I still won't feel bad about it. I won't feel like, oh, I should have done Demi Moore. I think that it's still like the best supported thing based on the logic we've used. You know, if I'm wrong, but my logic is sound, I'm okay with that.
Visual effects. Here's another category for Dune, and we will not be holding our breath on this one. And it's Dune.
Dune, pretty easy, pretty obvious category. Even though we might get sequels like in the Avatar series and the Dune series, I think they will continue to do well because visual effects just seems kind of immune to like the sequelitis. And apparently sound is too.
Live action short, I think it's a lean. If it's something else, then have fun.
I'm not a robot.
Oh, shit! Oh my god!
Oh, shit!
Another fucking shocker!
Hold up!
Not everything goes how you think it will in the short categories, man.
Yeah, honestly, this just feels kind of random to me. When was the last time Gold Derby was not only wrong 2 times in the shorts, but also I'm Not a Robot wasn't in the top 3.
Yep, they have 2 films that were not in the top 3 that happened, that won.
Let me just say, I like this win a lot. This is a really good film. Win. And it was probably my favorite of all the nominees, but they're not going for issues here. These are not issue films. And disregard the animated category, because it usually doesn't matter anyway. The fact that I'm Not a Robot won over Aline, which was about ice, and was basically a big fuck you to ice. Like, I was actually really looking forward to them giving a speech and saying fuck you to ice. The documentary film doesn't really stand for anything either. Kind of crazy, honestly. The way the shorts went this year, I am pretty confused. It was pretty random. So, you know, they just go to like the film that represents an issue and it says something. I mean, I'm Not a Robot was just a good film.
The point is this. There's not a formula for the shorts. And you can go with number 1 on Gold Derby. That might be your best bet, honestly.
Well, you would have gotten 1 out of 3 and hey,
it's better than random. Raise your hand if you got better than 1 out of 3 tonight. Oh, I don't see very many hands at all. So even 1 out of 3, buddy, a lot of people went 0 for 3, I promise you. Even sticking to Gold Derby was not that bad of an idea.
Better than average, perhaps.
Yeah. Cinematography, we think this is going to be The Brutalist.
The Brutalist.
It's The Brutalist.
Well-deserved. Great win. Brutalist is going to be up on stage a few more times today.
International feature. This is where we think I'm Still Here is going to prevail over Emilia Perez. Switcheroo. Surprise, surprise. 3 noms beats 13, and I do feel like that's where we're headed. I mean, Emilia Perez does have 2 wins so far. They're not
Expected.
afraid to
Very
embrace it in
expected,
expected categories. We will see. This
Yeah.
this
I mean,
one will be heard all around the world.
This is a prediction based on momentum alone. Emilia Perez's momentum was dying. I'm Still Here was rising. So I just feel like this is something that voters are going to say, yeah, I love that film. I saw it recently. I think it's amazing. I want to vote for that.
I'm still here.
I'm still here. Beats out Emilia Perez.
Look, this was #1 on Gold Derby and Award Expert. Like, most people were calling this.
Yep. It made a lot of sense.
Wow.
It really felt like that shift was happening.
Wow, what a shift.
See, it was just the
What
best
a
category
shift.
to award that film in. All right, original score.
It's got to be The
Let's
Brutalist.
see The Brutalist.
gotta
Let's
be
see
The
it.
Brutalist.
Let's see it. The Brutalist.
Fantastic.
Let's go.
Easy win. Amazing score. Best score of the year.
Best actor. I think this is going to be Adrian Brody, but Timmy has a shot. He's got a shot.
It's going to be Brody.
We'll see. Oh,
Yep.
Adrian Brody.
Yep.
Incredible.
Great win.
Incredible.
Great performance.
One of the better wins.
Oh, yeah.
Of recent years.
Truly, like, a year best performance. I think most
Yes.
people agree.
So The Brutalist has 3 wins. Best director. I think Sean Baker's winning another one here.
Yep.
But there's a little bit of a question for Brady Corbet.
Can you imagine if he won editing and then not director? It's kind of nuts.
Yeah.
Honestly, every award from here on out is Anora's to lose.
There we
Sean
go.
Baker? Sean
That's
Baker,
it.
that DGA win doesn't go nowhere.
That's it, folks.
That's it.
It's over. I mean, it was kind of over when editing happened, but
Yeah.
it was also over like we just knew it was going to happen.
Anora's winning 4 or 5 Oscars.
Big night. The
Huge.
question, the only question now is, will Mikey Madison win?
Bro, if Mikey Madison wins and it becomes 5 awards, it's nuts.
It is nuts.
It's nuts.
It is nuts. Another speech for Sean Baker.
All right, we are at the most nail-biting category of the night. It was always going to be Best Actress. We got the Fernanda fans holding their breath. The Demi Moore career stands are waiting. And the Anora fans are rooting for Mikey. But I still feel like our prediction's in a good spot for Mikey Madison. It is maybe like the biggest swing we did, if you want to call it
It's
a
in a
big
good
swing.
spot, but
Yeah.
I can't say that this category is not like
Yeah.
probably super close.
Yeah.
Just super close. Any of these 3 would be really
Great
neat
wins.
wins. Great wins. I've been excited for this one for a while, I'll say
Yeah.
that.
Mikey Mouse.
Oh! It was Mikey Madison!
Mikey!
It's a fucking huge Anora sweep!
The logic!
The BAFTAs and Best Actress.
How many times do we have to learn it?
They're nearly
Okay?
undefeated.
Okay.
The BAFTAs and Best Actors nearly undefeated.
Wow.
Holy shit, what a fucking sweep.
Yeah.
And they had to vote for Mikey Madison as part of the film.
Okay.
Great fucking performance. We saw it happen last year.
Yep.
We see it happen many years.
We see it happen many, many times. It becomes clear whether someone's writing a career narrative when we get to BAFTA and they do something different, then the BAFTA does something. You could decide whether you think that was the most important thing, or you can decide whether you think the most important thing was Anora was winning Best Picture. And I actually think that was more important here. I think Demi's narrative was so strong that she came really close, but that fucking movie won editing. Okay,
That was unexpected for
the
sure.
fact that the movie won editing means that people voted down the ballot for Anora, and it just makes sense. Like, so yes, they do give it in a close race. It holds true. They give it to the film that is closer to Best Picture, closer to winning. And that's the logic we used. And I feel vindicated. Going with the gut and the heart, like, doesn't always work. I know people like to predict that way, but more often than not, like, going with your head makes the outcome
Well,
better.
what about but Demi won 3 precursors and Mikey Madison won 1. It wasn't like not a logical prediction to say Demi Moore would.
No, it was, though, if you use all of the examples in, like, the past 5 years when the race was close. They mostly point to this happening.
Best Picture, so obviously going to Anora.
It's so over. It's so already over.
everybody knew it, right?
I did not think this would get 5.
It already has 4.
That's like, for Anora to sweep, I expected it to have the best night come Oscar time, but that doesn't mean very much given that it won like 1 award at Critics' Choice. It won, 2 awards, including casting at BAFTA. If the guilds as a whole were an awards body, it would have won 3, so that's really big.
It goes to show every single year we basically learn the lesson that the guilds are the most important to go off of. And it's not that they're always 1-to-1, but like the winner usually has some very key support at the guilds. I mean, looking here, like I don't even know what number 2 is. Conclave does have guild support and that it won SAG, but The Brutalist has 3 big wins. So that kind of looks like it's number 2, but winning no guilds. I mean, Anora is so out front
Yeah.
that there wasn't really a number 2. Let's just make sure it won so we can keep talking.
Anora wins 5 Oscars.
What do you know?
5. It won 5 of 6 nominations.
Yes. Buddy, remember the drought? Everything Everywhere. Nothing Since The Artist won 5 awards on Oscar night. Then we had Everything Everywhere, we had Oppenheimer, and Anora, which was thought to be a little bit of a weaker frontrunner, like, it just swept again. So that was an era that is now over. I don't know. I don't know why it's over.
I don't think we need to consider this as like, oh, well, we're in this era, so like we should start predicting sweeps for every film. Like, no, because then you're going to get to a year where, you know, something wins 3. And I'm feeling really happy, personally, because I love Anora, but we're also celebrating indie cinema. Sean Baker's an icon of indie cinema, and he really maintained that spirit in the film Anora. And, you know, even if Anora didn't win here, like, we could have gotten The Brutalist winning, which was a great, amazing independent film made for less than $10 million. I just like that the Oscars can still keep that indie spirit strong. And they really made a statement about giving Sean Baker all these awards, that they just love this person and his filmography and what he represents.
And the third film to win the Palm, then win Best Picture. Not even too far after Parasite. I mean, clearly the Cannes influence on this year's Oscars. Every year we're getting more international. We had 2 films this year that were not in English, 2 films last year, and before that never happened. And then Flo wins over Wild Robot. The directing lineup has 3 Cannes films. Like, I also like the kind of movie, the kind of winner that Anora is.
Yeah.
And Sean Baker, I'm just excited that he will get to make a movie every 3 years or whatever, and he's going to maintain his sensibilities. He's not like going up to blockbuster filmmaking. Like, I like that. And people will pay attention even more to his films now after this. I wonder if this will have like a sort of Nomadland or Artist effect where people felt like giving the movie Best Picture was just a little too much, and then you don't feel like you hear people talking about those movies, even though they're good.
No, this is a much better film than The Artist and Nomadland.
I think it's better too. I just hope that it doesn't have that effect on people. I want to take us back a couple months, because remember how uncertain we were of Best Picture until PGA and DGA happened together? The lesson there was that the most acclaimed movie, the one that it just seems kind of easy to see people gathering around and voting for at number 1, is the one that wins, right?
The critics' pick has aligned a lot in recent years with the Best Picture winner.
A whole lot.
I mean, Everything Everywhere All at Once was topping the top 10 charts for critics. Anora topped the charts.
Just Coda didn't. Coda beating Power of the Dog
Yeah.
is really the exception.
You really kind of have to default to what is the most critically acclaimed film. And, you know, the exceptions to that rule are when that film is like a little cold or icy or divisive, or when audiences don't quite get on board. Like the IMDb score is really low, like with Power of the Dog. It's good to hold to those principles. We learned this year also who the Golden Globes were. A lot of what they do is red herrings. I mean, Demi Moore. Like, oh my God.
Wow.
The way that they started this wave of like giving her wins and celebrating that comeback. And then for that to like just kind of reverse and go back to where we thought it was, which was that Mikey Madison was winning. Like, that was a fucking trip. Okay, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I thought Mikey Madison was going to take it after she lost Critics' Choice and after she lost Golden Globe. And it was only because of the BAFTA.
Yeah, the BAFTA's goated in the Best Actress category for sure. Now,
hey, and how well did the BAFTAs do this year? I mean, they were right in every category except for editing. And then obviously like all the things that Anora didn't win, right? So again, BAFTA really strong with craft categories and with acting categories. Like those two are, you know.
Anora not winning any SAG awards did spook people, but man, it won 5 fucking Oscars. Also, again,
it's insane that it didn't win SAG Ensemble. Like when you really look at all this Anora cast on stage and everything, like.
Also, it's another year where the early frontrunner that people are like, are we sure the Oscars are gonna like this kind of movie? It's like a little loud and screechy and not quite Oscar bait. And we had this question about how much they would like Poor Things, which they loved. It was probably the runner-up. We had this conversation about Everything Everywhere All at Once, for sure. Even The Substance, you know, you look at some of those anonymous ballots, and sure, is some problems there, but it made it into some big categories. Oscar bait may have prevailed last year with Oppenheimer, which was a great piece of Oscar bait.
Yeah,
but
and Conclave is a great piece of Oscar bait as well.
It still remains kind of shattered.
Oscar bait does persist. Like, you know, we did get a complete unknown this year. But in general, I was really happy with these nominees. I mean, we got The Substance nominated for a bunch of awards. Let's go. That was amazing. Just thinking out of Cannes that would maybe get a makeup nomination. Like, I'm just over the moon about The Substance, and I have been the whole year. But it's cool that I'm still here, God. And like, this really allows us to believe that any film can get nominated for Best Picture. I mean, yeah, there were a very narrow set of circumstances that led to this, and really it was with the Torres Globe win, I would say, but still, that's amazing that a film can get into Best Picture without a lot of precursors.
It remains the case that the Oscars are not as popular as they used to be. A lot of the films they nominate are not as popular. But if we were selecting from a crop of films that was just topping the box office, the nominees would suck. The Oscars are bringing attention to smaller films, and that's the best thing that I think we can hope for. I'm Still Here getting in was huge for the movie. I'm very happy that Nickel Boys made it in, even if it was by the skin of its teeth.
I just wanted to cap it off by saying there were a lot of really great films in this lineup, and I'm pretty happy with how the Oscars went down. The only prediction I'm really kicking myself for is not predicting Flow in animated, but I think I'll wisen up in future years, especially that this feels like a different way that we have to think about this category.
Buddy, given what happened the past 2 years, if Golden Globe and PGA / Critics' Choice split, and the Golden Globe is like the more indie or the more international, like,
right,
everybody's gonna think that's winning.
Yeah.
It's gonna be the go-to.
Yeah.
All right? It'd be funny if that happened and then it went back the other way. Like, at this point, even though you may be upset with yourself that you didn't predict that one category, overall, you played it safe. We went with everything that was number one on Gold Derby.
Yeah.
And we +1 Gold Derby because the one category we took a risk in paid off. So
Right.
that's pretty good
Pretty
if you're
good.
+1 in Gold Derby. Anora for editing, sure there was a case there that I
Yeah,
didn't
but it
go
was hard.
for.
Like I'm not kicking myself for not calling Anora and editing. You know, I didn't take any risks in the craft categories, but honestly, like a category that I was maybe likely to move was sound, but like that one stayed true.
Even documentary.
Documentary, you know, that looked a little shaky.
You
but-
could have switched,
Yeah.
but it was good that you didn't.
So, like,
And the
yeah.
short films.
The short
Like,
films were
I
what
was saying,
fucked everybody
oh,
up.
is going on Gold Derby number one? It seems like a bad idea now, right? But the fact that the number 4s won this year, I think, is partly because in all categories this year, there was no obvious number one. There was no Wes Anderson film in there. There was no like Pixar
Yeah.
short in there. If you predicted I'm Not a Robot or In the Shadow of the Cypress, like, good for you, absolutely. But I'm sure a lot of people predicted Aline and Yuck, and they did what I almost did, which was not predict Only Girl in the Orchestra, and they went 0. So, like, going with Gold Derby in all categories, it's actually still remains a decent strategy, if you think about it, because of how hard it would have been to go 2 out of 3.
And then on Award Expert, which is an app where you can predict the Oscars and many other awards bodies, we only got 1 out of 3 short films, but like I think we were aligned with Gold Derby in all the other categories. You know, so the community in Award Expert did pretty solidly as well. Speaking of Award Expert, for those of you who don't know, this is an app that I have created and I continue to develop and add on to, and I'm trying to make it the best place to make your Oscar predictions and build an Oscar community. I'll be releasing a pro tier soon, which will be the best way that you can support the project because the tech expenses do come out of my pocket here, and I am trying to make this into something bigger. So I will make an announcement when that is available, and I'm gonna put up 2026 Academy Awards like tonight. So you can start predicting next year. And I think we're both really excited. So we're gonna also start doing videos talking about what films are coming out next year. A lot of feedback we get is that those early videos really help people with film discovery, and that's a really big compliment.
Last year in March, we called Dune, Conclave, Nickel Boys.
We didn't do, yeah, that's it. And that's actually the worst we've ever done. But I was saying in the beginning of the year that it was going to be a very hard year to predict, and we'd be lucky to get 4 or 5.
I mean, Sing Sing was close. And next year will be the first year where best casting is a category, and I think it's super exciting. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing.
What lessons did you learn this year?